of blue and white colliding with Pitt's gold and blue as the defending national champs, the Nittany Lions, square off. Welcome back inside Rec Hall, where Penn State and Pitt renew their Keystone State rivalry. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups for the first side of the table. It's the Pitt Panthers, fresh off 4 straight Final Four runs and also a 7-match winning streak here. Brooke Mosher, very familiar with the Big Ten territory, transferring in from Illinois. And time now to meet the defending national champs, Penn State Nittany Lions, led by Katie Schumacher-Cauley. Addie Lyon, the center, on her 4th start in a row now, leading from first serve. And this is a matchup, Emily, that dates back to 1977. Lots of historical context here. Pitt has won 3 of the last 4, but historically it's Penn State that's owned this matchup in the series.
This rivalry is so much fun in recent years because both teams have been absolute powerhouses. Pitt having made the last 4 Final Fours, and Penn State coming off of their 8th national championship this past season. Yeah,
no kidding. Schumacher-Cauley contributing to 2 of those, once as a player, once as a coach. There's a look at Julian Grimes, the ferocious libero for the Nittany Lions, number 3. Keep an eye out for her. She's going to be a key tonight against Olivia Babcock. You promised it, Emily, and really that's they have their work cut out for them tonight, to say the least. On the other side, it is Emery Dukes getting the nod at libero, number 3. Checking in for Bree Kelly, and that was a last-minute decision for Dan Fisher on the side of Pitt, going with Emery Dukes. There's a competition now between Izzy and Emery.
And you have different experience levels. Emery Dukes, a redshirt senior there, gets the nod. Izzy Masson will still play a DS, but just in that freshman position. But hey, tonight is going to all be about number 5 in gold against number 18 in white. 2 power attackers. They're so much fun to watch with Olivia Babcock for Pitt and Kennedy Martin for Penn State.
Yep, the wrecking crew is with us and upon us. First server at the line will be the setter, Addie Lyon. What a great story she's had this year. Had a chat with her this morning about stepping in to take over the reins. She says it's a privilege to wear the blue and white, and I will try to continue that forward and carry that forward the rest of the season. Jump float serving coming from Lyon. Goes right into the net. Tight start. Pitt will take the opening score here in set number 1.
Penn State is going to have to serve really tough today because when Pitt is in system, they are so difficult to stop. They have one of the most efficient middle duos in the country. The way to neutralize them is serving really hard.
Well, speaking of serving really hard, Brooke Mosher, very good at that. The redshirt senior transfer mentioned. She, former starter, Illinois, rips it from the service line. Addie Lyon kicks it back to Juravicius, who goes off of 1 foot. Free ball situation. In trouble. Penn State kicks it right back to Juravicius, who starts right away on the right, and a big block on cue for Pitt.
This is a difficult rotation to get Pitt out of because they have so much height in the front court. Blair Bayless, number 8 in gold, a formidable force up there, does a really nice job tracking this ball and getting her hands over in time.
How about the play out of system, too, and a scramble for Pitt to find their way out of it. Brooke Mosher, one of their best servers back at the line, along with Olivia Babcock. Wow, track the MPH on that one. Out of system for Penn State. Emmy Selman hits it into a triple block. Out wide to Kennedy Martin, who throws one into the net. Pitt with a hot start. Penn State looks a little tight to start set 1.
Yeah, Penn State just not playing as free. They're playing a little bit timid right now. Martin tried to take a little bit off of that swing, resulting in going in the bottom of the net.
Here's a look at Kennedy Martin. Look for her to heat up. Her numbers have been stellar this season as well. Brooke Mosher looking for her 3rd straight point. Blows up Emmy Selman down the line. And running the middle is Addie Lyon. Pitt with athletic play, and the call is that the ball was down. Penn State will take the opening point. What a run, what a set from Addie Lyon to find the middle.
Yeah, really risky set right there, but it paid off.
And Dan Fisher, in his 12th year at the helm for Pitt, has transformed this program into one of the sport's most elite programs. Mentioned the 4 straight trips to the Final Four, 5 straight elite runs, as well as 6 ACC titles. And there's a look right away from Ryla Jones, the sophomore middle blocker.
Love watching Ryla Jones explode in her sophomore season. She does such a great job tracking these balls. She's gotten a lot stronger since her freshman year as well. She's putting a lot more power behind these swings.
Here's another look at Jones. Izzy Maston, number 7 in gold, back to serve for Pitt. She's a young freshman, started training with the team in January, graduated early to do so. Kennedy Martin goes into the block again. Lower contact point there for Martin, but Pitt, tough block to get through.
This match might come down to which outsides are blocking better, because the power attackers on both sides are the opposites on the right side, so that means they're going up against the outsides on the opposing side, and right away we're seeing a lot of balls blocked already for Pitt.
Yeah, Pitt, one of the best blocking teams in the country. Denied by the net is Izzy Maston as Penn State will take the miss. Head coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley, in just her third season leading her alma mater, she has guided Penn State to the 2024 National Championship, becoming the first female head coach to win an NCAA Division I women's volleyball title. Also a former two-time All-American herself and a member of the first team that won it all here at Penn State. Olivia Babcock on the pin and throws a little off speed in front of the feet of Jillian Grimes. Beautiful transition play on Pitt's side. Emery Dupes takes a one-arm stab at this ball to keep it alive, and the Panthers are able to transition that. Yeah, take another look. An amazing dig. Yeah. Just being in the right spot at the right time. Emery Dupes knows how to do that best, and Pitt also utilizing the two libero system. Mallory Meyer serving there, and a couple of early service errors for Pitt. That's unusual. They're not typically a team that's going to give you much error-wise. There's a look at Emery Dupes. Florida State transfer. And who else but tight to the net. Penn State wins the joust. Pirates loads up off the hands. Faldudo digs it up. Selman off the block again. Emery Dupes is on it. Mosier goes back to Babcock, who throws it just wide, and not sure she got the touch. And I think we'll have a challenge here. Here's another look at it, Emily. Babcock immediately signaling to her head coach that they touched a finger. Penn State's front court celebrating right away. Yep. They typically know what they see. Dan Fisher was quite confident.
Pitt is challenging. The ball was touched.
As expected. Anything jumping out to you to start this one, Em?
I think already we're seeing a lot of balance on Pitt's side. They're working to get everyone involved in the offense, while Penn State, a little bit pin heavy to start. A lot of that is because Pitt's putting a lot of pressure on the Nittany Lions. So here's what we're looking at, a touch call. So potentially if it's going off of a finger and out of bounds, if there's any movement or change of direction on the ball, it looked like that right index finger of number 5 in white. A little bit of movement there.
I think I saw that too. Take another look from a different angle. That hand in the middle from Jordan Hopp, I believe, will be called for a touch.
You can also look at whether this ball was in or out. Those can be bundled because you're looking at the last play. That ball was out. Based on the first look that we saw, it looked like it clipped something.
And of course, hear the verdict here soon. Referee crew running back a few more angles of this one. Middle production, a point of emphasis on both sides to stay balanced. Addie Lyon talked to me about that this morning. They really, really want to get their middles involved as much as possible to take that pressure off the pin, to your point earlier here, Emily, but it's been quite pin heavy, as you mentioned it. Lengthier delay here, I think we'll have a verdict here shortly.
Now it has to be indisputable evidence one way or another to confirm or reverse that call. I want to make sure that the ref gets it right, which is why this is taking a bit of time. But you're looking at that left ring finger of number 5. Looks like it moves to me. And Fisher wants him in.
The verdict. Getting our second on-cam shot of the night.
After the review,
TBD,
there
coach.
was a touch. The call will be reversed. It will be a point for Pitt, and they will retain their challenge.
All right, we play on.
On the hot seat there for a minute. And 4-point gap continues here for 5th-ranked Pitt. Olivia Babcock already contributing to 2 kills so far here in set number 1. Pitt hitting 600 as a team early. Babcock back to the line, and that is a rocket. Faldudo was trying to pass it. Selman out of system, and then Hop goes to block her own overpass. All right, Martin doesn't leave the ground, but still sends over a shot of her own. What a swing from Mauritz. Kennedy goes flying into the stands, and it cannot be dug out.
Beautiful out-of-system play on Pitt's side. I love this set from Brooke Mosier. She's pulled all the way to the right side of the court. This is something that Pitt practices all the time, even in warm-ups, taking the sets from the complete right side of the court and having the strength to push it all the way out.
That's a really good point by you. Another serve incoming from Olivia Babcock. What a pass from Grimes. Deserves some credit, and they'll pay it off with a slide attack from Jordan Hop.
And that one taken by Faldudo in the back, just completely eating that one up, putting it right on top of the setter. Beautiful ball. And this is essentially coming as a hit, so
yeah, that's
have to defend it.
Great pass by Faldudo. Got crosswires for me watching how fast that serve was. Babcock out of the back row now. Mosier out to the pin. Mauritz throws in a roll shot. Juravicius loads up, hits the hand, sends that ball out. Call it a 2.
Juravicius gets most of her kills on being incredibly physical. She has such power in her arms. She's able to go off the block and out of bounds if it's not perfectly formed.
Amy Selman back to work at the service line for Penn State. There's another look at the fearless Caroline Juravicius. Mauritz with a pass and a dime. Bree Kelly in a one-on-one situation. What a block there from Juravicius. Mauritz, a cannon through the seam of the block, and there's maybe some danger for Penn State with an undersized blocker in number 7, Addie Lyon.
Yeah, this is exactly the rotation that Penn State doesn't want to get stuck in. When you have Addie Lyon, who just stands at 5'9", she's number 7 in white, they switch blocks, so they'll actually move her to the middle of the court so they have a bigger blocker trying to block line.
There's some history to undersized centers at Penn State. I'll add more to that story in a moment. Big serve from Mauritz goes well deep. Mauritz, number 19 in golds, coming here from the Netherlands as a freshman. And the CEV Volleyball European Championships from 2019 to 2022. She's a new player, a new face that's really settled into her own, coming into her own for Pitt.
One of the best passers on the court for Pitt as well. She's done a phenomenal job there as a freshman.
Agreed. Another missed serve. A lot of those flying on both sides to start.
I think both sides really know that they have to serve tough initially to knock the other out of system, but both just serve a little bit too tough. That one going about 10 feet out of bounds. Back to serve for Pitt. Grimes throws it high to the pin. Juravicius trying to swing her way out of trouble, but tracking that ball behind your right shoulder can be a challenge. Pitt's doing a really nice job just putting pressure on Penn State, whether it's on attack or from the service line. They're not letting Penn State get comfortable.
Tao Tua'a has a nice jump float serve on contact. That one floats deep though. Pitt still trying to figure out their service game at the moment.
4th service error on the Panthers side. And 6 total in this match so far. So we're seeing a lot of back and forth from the service line here.
Nice serve from Lyon. And a big blow from Jones. Once again, the slide attack gets through 2 physical blockers that time.
This is why Penn State has to serve really tough, because if Ryla Jones and Bree Kelly, the middles for Pitt, are involved in the offense, it's so difficult to slow them down because of how fast Brooke Mosier runs it.
Brooke Mosier back to the service line. That's dangerous for Penn State. Big pass here for the white and blue. Grimes gets a hold of it. Lyon to the pin. It's Kennedy Martin. They need some production out of their star, and they got it there.
Doesn't matter if it comes from the right or the left spin. Kennedy Martin is going to bring it every single time. Look how high she gets up here. That's a big block in front of her, and she's able to slice it inside.
That's the connection that Addie Lyon feels the most confident in. Why wouldn't you when you have the star? But it's not always as easy to connect right away. The new starting setter. Beautiful set from Mosier, but it is Nice tough block by Kennedy Martin on both sides of the ball.
Now, Kennedy Martin is such a physical force up front. This plays out in her blocking ability as well. She's 6'6" and has great handwork to get that ball back in.
Eva Felduto will serve for the Nittany Lions. Jump float handled. Ooh, a little tight though. In trouble is Pitt. And the heads-up play there for Maggie Mendelson. Dukes with a little bit of a tight pass.
Now started from the service line, Eva Felduto putting in a bullet at Pitt's serve receive, forcing that near overpass.
See who Felduto targets this time, especially with the center coming in from that back right corner. She goes right back to the libero, Emery Dukes. Tip is thrown in from Bayless, and ooh, trouble here for Penn State. Throwing up to Kennedy Martin, and it's well wide.
And just a miscommunication on Penn State's side of who is going to play that first ball. That's why the tip was so effective from the outside, because you're forcing players to try to talk about it and who's going to get that first contact.
Blair Bayless coming to life here for Pitt. Izzy Maston, the freshman DS, back in to serve. Jump float. Ryan goes back to Martin again. Mosier gets a touch on it. Maston tracks it down through the chairs. It's still going. Penn State loading up again. Wow. And that's the one that lands, and you wonder if Izzy Maston is bidding for a spot at libero here in set number 2 with that kind of defensive scramble.
Awesome hustle from Izzy Maston, and you love to see the bench just getting out of the way. Let her play that. Amazing up.
That is awesome. When you have defensive players that'll run through literal chairs to get a ball up, you know you're on the right track. And then Babcock goes to work. Felduto digs it out in the seam. Martin off the hands, and here comes Penn State, pulling within 1.
Now Kennedy Martin's heating up, which is exactly what Pitt does not want to see on the other side of the net. Such a strong arm, and if that block isn't there in time, it's coming back.
Jillian Grimes, libero for Penn State serving. Maston with a rocket quick pass. Pitt with the coverage, out to the pin. Mauritz is dug out by Penn State. Selnick throws a BB, it's wide, and Pitt gets out of a scramble. But to your point, yeah, the serving aggressive for Penn State too.
Has to be tough on both sides because Pitt's offense is so dynamic.
Look at the 2 libero system for Pitt. Kennedy Martin goes right down the line to punish that right on cue. Mallory Meyer gets burned.
And these are plays that Pitt has to at least try to get a touch on the block from. Dagmar Mauritz needs to get up, potentially, can't say take the line away because then she's going to rip it cross, but get in a good position to at least get a touch.
Now back to serve. Martin has a cannon of a serve too, but Babcock is there to back up Pitt. She goes wide with it on a one-on-one block situation, by the way. There's a break for Penn State.
And kind of a misplay for Olivia Babcock. Normally she'll rip these balls cross court. That's her power shot. It's kind of a missed opportunity on a set that's drifting out.
Too small of a target there. Line was covered by the Penn State block. A nick off the net. Pitt digs it out. Babcock gets one through, but Penn State gets a touch on it. It's Kennedy Martin out of the back row. She's covered out by Jordan Hopp. Selnick tries to go through the block. Pitt digs it out. Very scrappy defensive team. Babcock stays down, throws it over with 2. Lyon sets it to the pin. 1 on almost none situation for Emmy Selnick.
Amazing decision for Addie Lyon to set this ball.
And recent success as well.
And for Penn State, they're coming off of their 8th national title last season. And Katie Schumacher-Collier said, yes, this is a new team and group, but that expectation stays the same of wanting to win championships. For Pitt, also, Dan Fisher has talked about until they win a championship, they're the underdog despite going to 4 straight Final Fours.
Love that sentiment on both sides. How about that set from Mosier, though, a moment ago to Bree Kelly, showing off her athleticism.
And that'll send Brooke Mosier to the front court, and watch for her to swing on too. She's very crafty up front, making sure to establish herself as a threat.
Olivia Babcock at the service line. Always a threat, but throws that one into the net. Penn State back on top by 1.
Olivia Babcock has a green light to just rip serve
yes,
back there. They're okay with any errors that they see because of how many points that she scores.
To your point earlier, lots of Service errors across the board on both sides. 5 for Pitt, 2 for Penn State so far. Handled that one. Bree Kelly off of 1 foot, throws it to the middle, misconnected on it. Penn State couldn't sort it out.
Even though that wasn't the best set to Bree Kelly, she's able to adjust to it, and that's what some of the best attackers do. That ball doesn't have to be in a perfect window. It just needs to be in a window to hit it.
Bree Kelly on the AVCA National Player of the Year watch list. She's been around the game a long time. Redshirt senior, determined to win it all with this Pittsburgh team. In some trouble here, though, against Penn State. Sophia Gregoire back to serve for Pitt, and count it. Like the change up here for Dan Fisher.
And Pitt continuing to bring a lot of service pressure from the end line. Penn State's been a little bit streaky in their serve receive, especially in these rotations where they only have 2 passers back there.
Gregoire transferred to Pitt after 2 seasons at Oregon. Another tough serve to fend off for Penn State. That one's wide too. A couple of unforced here, but great service pressure at the line from Gregoire.
Amazing service pressure, and Jillian Grimes handles it, but doesn't quite get it high enough to run an in-tempo offense.
And it will force a timeout called the other way for Penn State, now trailing by 2 to Pitt. Stay with us here at State College. Back to the action here in State College. Penn State in a 2-point hole. Lion to the pin. Juravicius rips it down the line. Crucial moment for Penn State.
Big side out for Penn State, especially late in the set. They need to play toe-to-toe with Pitt and then be really clean in the red zone from the last 5 points. But a really nice take from Jillian Grimes. They're able to run a little bit out of system, but a beautiful swing from Juravicius.
Juravicius, fearless competitor. Father played football. Penn State also in the NFL. Mauritz almost gets jammed, but anyways, oh my, a one-on-one situation. Mendelson gets the stuff block.
It is so difficult to get a one-on-one stuff on a back row attack because that attacker has so many angles that they can hit. Maggie Mendelson made sure that she was just following the line of approach of the attacker, and that ball goes straight down.
Another look at the pressing block from Maggie Mendelson. Big serve for Penn State, another dime of the pass for Mauritz. Ooh, Olivia Babcock back to work. She was offended by that block a moment ago.
Yeah, she put a little extra something into that back row swing, just slicing it right on the end line. From this angle, you can see she does a much better job seeing the angle that the blocker's taking than just going straight around it.
Tautua'a back to serve for Pitt. 25, Olivia Babcock continuing her campaign. AVCA National Player of the Year that she won last year. Out to the pin, Juravicius goes into the heavy double block for Pitt. That's been dangerous for Penn State all night long.
Blair Bayless has done a really nice job tonight putting her body in positions that gets her hands in nice spots to shut down attackers. Beautiful out-of-system play. Blockers working so well together on that one.
That one might have been out for Penn State. Nittany Lions goes back to Juravicius, gets the touch and the kill. Back within 1.
Really smart swing from Juravicius on this ball. She knows it's out of system. She has a big block in front of her. Doesn't do too much with it with power. Takes a little bit off and goes right off the fingertips.
Close one there. Overpass. Penn State takes care of business. Juravicius with the close. Nittany Lions should get the assist from the service line.
And yeah, that all starts from the service line and a miscommunication on the serve receive about whether that ball was in or out, but Dupes makes a last-second decision and plays this, forcing the overpass.
Line goes back to Dupes. Frazier throws up. Set, and it's a scramble again, kind of a misconnection there on the slide, and Pitt gets away with it.
Yeah, none of the slide attacks have looked consistent for Pitt so far, and that's been one of their staples over the last few years. But you have a new setter coming in. It's still early in the season, although Pitt's played 9 matches, so look for that to get better as this match goes on.
Mosier back to the line. Pitt needs 4 to close out set number 1. Heavy serve, it's an overpass. Look out. Joust 1 on cue. Blair Bayless, the junior.
That starts from an awesome topspin serve from Brooke Mosier. This is exactly who Pitt wants on the end line right now in this kind of moment. She's got a heavy topspin ball.
she does. Brooke Mosier played 4 years at Illinois, came into the season with over 2,000 assists, over 700 digs, and 400 kills. Another look at this great serve, Emily, and actually Kennedy Martin played with Brooke Mosier at FC Elite in Wisconsin during their club era, sophomores in high school. She was a senior, she being Brooke Mosier, but that is a cannon at the service line. That's the reason Pitt wants her to start at the line.
What makes this serve really difficult is that Mosier's able to move it around. In this rotation, Penn State has Caroline Jurevicius passing, who is by far the worst passer for the Nittany Lions. She's moved over from the opposite this past season.
See that?
Not often.
3 seams to pick from here for Mosier. She goes to Grimes, nails the pass. Jurevicius needed a kill, and she gets one.
A lot of times when you just give a different look in serve receive, it forces that server to think about just a little bit more, and all of a sudden that's an easy ball right on Grimes' lap for them to turn.
Love that coaching decision from Katie Schumacher-Cauley, one of the veterans of the game. Jurevicius going fearlessly with a big block ahead. That's her 5th kill of the evening. Faldudo picking apart Dukes, who nails the pass. Stuff block from Maggie Mendelson on Babcock.
Maggie Mendelson is taking complete control of the middle of the court. Anything that Pitt is running in there, she's been all over. Amazing tracking of where the hitters are going and what rotation, seeing Babcock come in on a 2-ball in the middle.
She has been playing great. Mendelson on both sides of the ball. Jammed up is Nittany Martin. Jams at the Penn State block. 1-point lead to Penn State. What a moment here for the Nittany Lions. Timeout.
As this set gets later and later, expect both sides to go to their stars. Right now, Olivia Babcock in the negatives. Kennedy Martin, 5 kills.
11 total attempts for Kennedy Martin, only 9 for Babcock. To the middle goes Pitt. What a set, what a decision. What did you like about that specifically?
Specifically, I love the pass on that ball. It was completely calm. Really good timeout taken by Dan Fisher just to calm the momentum on Penn State's side. I love that decision to go to the middle because it's one-on-one.
Ryla Jones adds her 4th kill of the match, hitting over 600. Now that might stall out the Penn State block. Keep an eye on that. We've got Marina Pizzell checking into the lineup for Pitt. Another server thrown into the mix at the last second. Dan Fisher makes some last-minute decisions and follows his gut.
Coming in as a serving sub, doing exactly what you're supposed to do, forcing that overpass, and your front row can take full control of it.
And Pizzell did spend some time in the L2 position for Pitt as well. Martin gets stuffed, and Pitt runs away with set number 1, and maybe sneaking away is the proper way to say that one. What a fight.
Really good push from Penn State toward the end of that set, but at the end of the day...
Yeah, keeping Penn State to hitting 121 right now as a team. On the other side, Pitt hitting 267, and Emily, to me, the last part of that set in crunch time, Pitt opted to go to their middles, which stalled out the Penn State block a bit. I know they were camping out, tracking where Olivia Babcock was, but that was a really heads-up play, veteran move from Brooke Mosier as well.
The number 1 key for Penn State coming in was to make Babcock work and to try to slow her down. They did a really good job of that. She hit -111 during that set, but other Pitt attackers really came alive. Ryla Jones, the middle, with 4 kills. Dockmar Mauritz with 3, Bree Kelly with 2. So Brooke Mosier's doing a nice job getting everyone involved, even if Babcock's having an off night.
I don't know if she ever has an off night. Seems like she is always firing on all cylinders. Right on cue, it's Brooke Mosier back to serve. See if set 2 is as close as set 1. Selnick steps into the chaos. Pitt throws it to the middle, and a net violation will be called on Ryla Jones.
I really like that decision for Brooke Mosier to not take this ball over and set Jones on this. Just getting a little bit caught up in the net. A good little side set, just flipped it on the follow-through.
Impressed by Jones stepping up at the big moments to close out set 1-2. Nice serve from Grimes. Babcock. Whoa.
And how about some explosiveness on Pitt's side? Babcock's flying up there. This is a player that touches 10-9. Jeez. Really up and over any block, but if you give her a seam, she's going to drill it right to the ground.
I think somebody must have told Babcock she was hitting in the negatives. She's now Back to even, 4 kills, 4 errors. Credit to Penn State and their defense. Pizzell served that one deep, I think, but Penn State played it anyways. Selman gets the tool.
For Penn State in this rotation, this is typically one that they want to avoid going to the left sides when you have Jones paired up with Babcock out there. So any ball that's going out of system for Penn State, it's going to be difficult for them to score on. That was a really nice job of it.
Martin, what a serve. Blows up the Pitt passing. What a swing from Mauritz, and perhaps that's why Pitt trains that out-of-system set you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Pitt wants to take all of these balls down the line out of system because Addie Lyon, a shorter blocker for Penn State, is on the right side. Look at the height difference here on the far side of your screen. It's going right over it.
Mauritz started volleyball at the young age of 6. Kennedy Martin with a nice set, too, from Jillian Grimes out of the back row.
And it's so difficult for Martin to get that kill out of system because Grimes is taking the second contact. The blockers are waiting on Martin's swing. She still finds a way around it.
Selman back to the service line. Penn State looking to protect a 1-point lead early in set 2. Dukes with another tight pass. Babcock throws an off-speed 3. Penn State Nittany Lions crashing to the middle. Better than having none, but whose ball is it?
Ideally, you always want your libero to take that first ball if there's any question. But honestly, it's whoever's going to call it off and just take that ball first. You don't want to have those miscommunications.
Well, car crash there for Penn State. Babcock at the service line. Incoming BB. Whoa, Selman gets a hold of it. Kennedy Martin gets tripped up, still finds a way. No, we're still going. Pitt with some scrappy defense. Lyon throws in the tip. What a time to use it.
Really smart decision for Addie Lyon to go up. She's only 5'9", so she's not an overly offensive threat, but in certain opportunities, she knows when it's the right time to do it. Great hustle on Pitt's side just to get this play, but really smart from Lyon to go up and just put this one down.
It's Marina Pizzell from Monaco. She's recently a part of the French VNL team this past summer. Great server and scrapper on defense. Mauritz back to work in a one-on-one situation. There was Maggie Mendelson. You talk about the switch blocking, dive a little bit deeper into how that might be impacting the Penn State middles too.
Yeah, so what Penn State wants to do when Addie Lyon's up front, because she's a shorter blocker, they'll move her into the middle and have Maggie Mendelson actually block as a right side blocker, just so it's a bigger force for the attacker to try to hit through. Or in that case, they didn't have Addie Lyon block at all.
Mauritz back to serve. Oof, off the passer and out. What a target from Mauritz down the line on Juravicious.
Look for Mauritz to continue to target Juravicious on these plays. Sometimes you'll see them pull Juravicious out as well, kind of varying up who's in that serve receive on Penn State side.
Selman handles her pass with hands. Mendelson throws a tip in. Bayless off the block and off speed with a tip.
How about the reach from Blair Bayless on that ball? Really tight set. She's able to get her feet there in time. That allows her to get this ball over. Look how tight this second ball is, but good footwork and just pushes it in.
That's Blair Bayless's second kill of the night. Pitt still on a service run. Jams up Juravicious. Trying to swing her way out of trouble. Gets caught with a tight set situation against a dangerous Pitt block.
Yeah, Brie Kelly's probably not the person to go after in an out-of-system situation. She has been one of the best blockers in the country over the past few seasons. Her hands over the net is insane.
Big Mosher got a hold of that one too.
Yeah.
And as a brick wall, a golden brick wall on the side. Nice run here for Mauritz. At least 3 straight. Emmy Selman handles the pass. Ewing in the lineup for Penn State. And how about that? Martin finding a way to put the ball down once again. Alexis Ewing checking in for Penn State, number 27. She's the freshman in for Juravicious, who was caught with a few errant passes there for Penn State. Also, of course, the daughter of NBA legend Patrick Ewing and the Long Beach State volleyball star Cheryl Weaver. Be remiss not to mention that. Nice off the block. Penn State to the back row. Pitt to their back row. Grimes digs it out for Penn State. Oh my. A little off speed, a little deflection off the block. Count it for Maggie Mendelson.
It doesn't matter how you get the point. You just have to put the ball down. Good vision for Maggie Mendelson to see where the block was, and especially in transition. Work hard to get off the net so she can have that swing.
Maggie Mendelson currently 4th in the Big Ten with a team best .425 hitting percentage right now. Deserves a lot of love, especially adjusting to a newer starting center in the Penn State program anyway. Not new to starting.
Yeah, the biggest focus for Penn State's offense has been connecting with the middles, because normally that's the longest connection to get down. So Addie Lyon and both Jordan Hopp and Maggie Mendelson have put in so much time in the gym outside of practice to get those connections good.
Tautua'a serving for Pitt. Selman goes hands on the pass. It's Martin with the cannon outside the Pitt block. They take it personally.
There's just no stopping that when Kennedy Martin is swinging as well as she is from the outside. A well-formed block in front of her. She has the height, though, to hit angles that a lot of attackers can't, slicing it in.
Look at that swing and that contact point for Kennedy Martin. 8th kill of the night, hitting .235, still beating Babcock in the inner rivalry. That serve is deep. Tough to follow up a swing like that with a missed serve, but that's all right. Pitt back on top by 2. And Kennedy Martin, by the way, played with Olivia Babcock for USA Volleyball, has high praises for Olivia Babcock, saying how humble she is, how kind of a person off the court she is, the way she carries herself, especially with so many accolades. Mosier sends a bullet deep.
And there are not a lot of players in our sport that are as explosive and dynamic athletes, but also as great of a person as Olivia Babcock is. I had the chance to talk to her a lot this summer covering the USA Women's National Team, where she was just one of 2 college players on that roster. She absolutely crushed it, but also, like you said, just such a humble player. So great to have on your side.
A special athlete. Back to work here for Penn State. Out to the pin, Selman. The block was late for Pitt, and Emmy Selman takes advantage.
Good finish from Selman outside. Anytime that block is late, she has such a fast arm swing and a snap down that she's able to just beat blockers inside.
Selman was on the Big Ten all-freshman team, the Ohio State transfer. Pitt goes to the middle. Penn State to the pin. Mosier out of the play. Deuce high to Bayless, who's stuffed by Emmy Selman.
Chest bumps all around on the Penn State side. Selman is a physical outside attacker. She stands at 6'4" and really disciplined, especially out of system. Perfect handwork working with Hopp there.
Wanted to be a little closer to home in her transfer to Penn State. Grimes goes down the line. Selman, 3 straight points.
That all started from the service line. Jillian Grimes putting in a bullet, forcing that overpass. Selman's able to just eat it up.
Oof, and another miss at the service line for Penn State. You can't fault them for the service errors because of how valuable you mentioned the line is, but what is the line for you? How many errors are you okay with per set?
Yeah, I think typically 2 is maybe okay, a really good number, but for Penn State right now, I wouldn't really mind 3 or 4 per set, because I think they have to serve really tough against Pitt.
Gazelle back to serve for Pitt. Selman with a dime of a pass. In one-on-one. Mosier, what a set. Babcock tries to blow up line. Selman throws it deep and wide. I loved that set from Brooke Mosier in the middle of the court, flying her way through, reversing the flow. You know it's going to Babcock, but that was a beauty. Pizzell back at the service line. Faldudo with the pass. Martin tries to find the seam. Goes through the block. It's dug out. Pitt to Jones. Another dig. Babcock swings away and bails her team out once again.
That was great coverage on Pitt's side. Everyone that wasn't attacking right there, in for coverage. Everyone's down and ready to make a play on that ball. That's the only reason that Pitt is able to stay in these long rallies, because everyone's working hard behind the attackers.
Those scrappy points in coverage. Selman goes deep and high. Free ball. Penn State goes middle. It's Jordan Hopp. Babcock off the Penn State block. Lyon to Kennedy Martin. To the block, and down it goes. Pitt with a 2-point gap.
Really like the way that Pitt set up that block there because Dagmar Maurits was able to get her middle involved on the play. Good set from Lyon, but the block's just waiting on it, taking away the power shot that Martin wants, which is that cross-court shot.
Look at that reaction from Olivia Babcock. Humble and supportive of her teammates' successes. Nice pass from Grimes. Goes in the middle and lights it up. That's important for Penn State. You've been talking about it, Emily. That balance was a point of emphasis from Addie Lyon this morning, too. Getting
middles involved in the play opens things up for your other Penn attackers because then the blockers on the other side have to respect them and stay neutral.
Well, especially with Kennedy Martin going to the back row now. You open her up a little bit from the back row attack option as well. Mosier to the pin. Maurits goes line high off the littler block of Addie Lyon. But so far, Penn State has been hanging right in there with a smaller right side block.
Yeah, and in this rotation, expect a lot of balls for Pitt to go to exploit that shorter matchup.
Meyer back to serve for Pitt. Selman handles. Hop on a slide and gets burned on the Pitt block. The block went off of Hop. Back to the action here. Another classic between Penn State and Pitt. Lions serving from, setting from the 10-foot line. Pitt works it to Maurits. What a time to tip. Why was that smart for Maurits to tip it at that point in the match?
Really smart because Kennedy Martin's in the backcourt. So even if Martin does make a play on that, it takes her out of the offense and makes Pitt have one less thing to worry about.
Selman gets a touch. She's really picked it up here in set number 2, too.
I mean, someone's trying to take off heads right now. She's hitting really flat and deep. It's really difficult as a defender to try to get your body around it and make a big play on it.
5 kills for Selman, hitting 200. 15 total attempts. They're using her a lot. Down float. Dupes is on it. Mosier, oh my. That is a beautiful sequence. Run that one back one more time, please.
Stunning set from Mosier up front. She's backcourt, so she can't go up and take this ball over. It does look like an overpass, and Hop's waiting for it, but just a little bit off in the timing, and what an angle from Bree Kelly.
That is such a crispy connection. That's what a center-middle connection looks like. Ooh, and last-minute change of decision. That ball is in from Babcock.
I think everyone thought that ball was out right before it snuck right on the line.
Yeah,
it looked in from our angle.
It almost looked like it was floating out at the last second, but that's what that topspin gives you, and that velocity, too. How many MPH do you think Olivia Babcock's hitting?
She's actually at about 55. From what we're told during the season.
That is wild. That shoulder is utilized. Ewing! What a swing for the young all-star, the freshman. And fresh arm out of Maryland, 6'4", mentioned her pedigree and her background, but it was really cool for Katie Schumacher-Cauley when they came on their visit here to Penn State. She said it was all about Alexis. Patrick didn't want any of the clout or attention. He said he was just so excited for his daughter to be having this opportunity here at Grimes, loading up to pass for Penn State. Keep an eye on the seams, keep an eye on the velocity. Oh, so hard to judge it at the last second. Disconnecting on that one. Babcock out of the back row. Throws up a high set to Maurits, who finds a way to get the ball down, and Penn State's in the net.
How about those hands?
Yeah.
Olivia Babcock, are you kidding me?
Pretty clean, too.
She's coming from right back pushing this ball. I mean, look at the strength that she has to push this ball out, and it's a perfect set.
On a dime.
Her all-around game is so impressive and has gotten better every single season that she's played just in her junior year.
Yeah, well, Emily, you covered this game at the highest level internationally, professionally, at the college level. I'd love to dive into that. What makes Olivia Babcock special and able to make it there? Grimes gets burned on a pass. Ewing tracks it down. Nice save there. Tip from Mosier, and just when you think Pitt is going to run the offense, Mosier rubs salt in the wound for Penn State. Catches him in a scramble.
Pitt just absolutely rolling right now. 12-2 scoring run, and they've got their best server on the back line with Olivia Babcock. Oh,
man. You can have your platform out as early as you want. And Jocelyn Nathan gets burned that time. Could you take a few steps up for the littles to fend this off?
I think what's really difficult about Olivia Babcock's serve is that sometimes she'll push it deep, but then she'll also drop it short. It's one of the reasons why she has one of the toughest serves in the country.
Well, especially in the transfer portal era that we are living in across all college sports, when programs can still consistently churn out wins. That tells you a lot about the way coaches build their programs.
And I really like the way that Dan Fisher coaches his team, because he's really about development. He loves when players come in. They're going to stay there for, ideally for him, 4 seasons. But even if they don't, he does a great job. You can tell from August until December, his teams always get a lot better.
He also talks a lot about the holistic approach, looking at the athletes top to bottom. At first as people, next as athletes, develops them across the board, cares for their well-being. Out of system here for Pitt. Babcock to bail them out, and she will, right on cue.
Babcock this time from the backcourt running a D-ball, so it's a high set to right back. Beautifully run by Mosier, kind of a bailout situation, but Babcock's able to get her feet there, completely toward her body back to right back with a kill.
Pitt running away with set number 2. Mauritz back at the line. Selman to Wyatt. Back row, it's Kennedy Martin. Oh my, what a beauty of a set from Mosier. A little tight, Babcock gets out of it. Oh, and that one is deep, no touch. Addie Lyons saying, nuh-uh, you didn't get my hands over the net. Sent there from Blair Bayless.
And expect Pitt again. When Addie Lyons in this rotation, they're going to go after her any chance they can. She's still getting her hands pretty far up there, though.
You know, Penn State won a national title with an undersized setter. It was Kristen Carpenter who had coffee this morning with Addie Lyon, giving her advice on, wow, what a stuff block from Alexis Ewing, the freshman, making an entrance in State College.
Really good footwork from Ewing on this ball. She makes the same moves that this slide attack is making with her feet and gets those hands right in front of it.
Back to the Kristen Carpenter story. Addie Lyon telling me this morning, Kristen telling her, have full trust in yourself and your ability. There's a reason you're here in this situation now. Out to the pin, what a block from Kennedy Martin. Scramble for Pitt. Free ball for Penn State. Back to Martin, why wouldn't you? Dug out by Olivia Babcock, unbelievable dig. Mosier to the back row, tip and beauty for Mauritz. That's twice now a veteran move from a freshman player.
The #1 play that Babcock has been trying to improve in the last season has been her backcourt defense. Check out this up on the left side of your screen. Just getting her body around it, palms up, that forces this ball straight up. Beautiful defense in the backcourt from one of the most well-rounded players in the country.
Set point for Pitt. Throws it out of transition. System for Penn State. Salmon throws it tight. And Penn State saves a set point against Maggie Mendelson. Throws her intensity into the fight.
Whenever Maggie Mendelson is in, she is affecting the game. Offensively hit nearly 700, and that was her 6th block of the night so far, just through almost 2 sets.
So where must Penn State go from here? Set point on the other side. Feel like you have to play perfect. Feldudo back at the service line. Always a pressured situation there. Dupes was the target. Blair Bayless loads up, and Emmy Selman gets caught with a touch. Pitt takes set number 2 and looking to claim another win over Penn State. They are 1 set away from doing so. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Dan Fisher wants away 3 points back to their usual brand. Here's a look at Dan Fisher. High expectations for his team, takes care of his athletes. Eva Feldudo will start set 3 at the service line, and Ryla Jones will start set 3 with the first kill for Pitt.
The speed of that middle attack, there is not a lot of players that are going to be able to get up on that because of how fast it is from Mosier's hand the time Jones is making contact.
That connection between Mosier and Jones, as well as with Kelly in development. should say, in full stride. Maggie Mendelson looking to make an impact. Kelly throws it to the pin. Mauritz, the star in my mind, back to work. Mosier goes right back. Heads up set. Penn State gets the dig. Selman hammers it.
Penn State needs some fire. That's been Emmy Selman from the second set on. She's really come alive, especially on these cross-court shots. She's ripping everything there. Pitt's got to bring that block maybe in just a little bit to take away the power.
Emmy Selman didn't mind a little bit of a gap there on the outside seam. Kelly throws in a tip, working what we call the donuts. Forced into that situation.
Not the best set, a little bit too low for Brie Kelly. But what she did well was adjust midair, throwing in that easy little tip right over.
I like what I'm seeing from Mosier, though, in the middles right now. Her high set contact point is in full rhythm with Brie Kelly and Ryla Jones. That quick is going in the middle. It's fun to watch. Penn State in some trouble here. Full scramble. Kennedy Martin goes to save the day. Grimes, what a get. We're still in action. Mosier throws it over, and a net violation called by Emmy Selman. By the way, back when Mosier and Kennedy Martin played together in club, said that they played in a 6-2, and Brooke Mosier played all 6 rotations. When she was in the front row, she attacked as a hitter, so she's really talented in that area as well as setting.
And during her redshirt freshman year at Illinois, she was also a hitter because Illinois was down players, so she can also hit with her right and left hand, which is self-taught.
Unbelievable. Martin goes big. Mosier again, what a load up. Out to Mauritz. Block playing closer attention to her. Selman turns it at the last minute. What a shot.
Right when you talk about Selman ripping cross court, she shows the range that she has and rips it right down the line. Really smart decision for a player that's been going with that cross court shot time and time again.
It was going thumb down a moment ago. Saw the thumb up swing there, and a beauty down the line. Pizzell with an errant pass. Olivia Babcock trying to track it down. There's no let up though with this Pitt team. Great serve to cause the miss from Kennedy Martin.
Martin's 4th straight match having an ace. Just a really good job driving this ball straight down.
Yeah, the contact point at what height is quite unique. 6'6". So that ball trajects down with a float situation. It's a unique ball to pass. Pitt with a few substitutions. In comes Izzy Mastin. Let's see what the target is for Izzy Mastin, the freshman, fighting for the libero spot for Pitt. She goes to Emmy Selman. Selman loads up. What a play, high and heavy with the arm.
Selman's having a really nice match, getting that first pass, getting her setter in a perfect spot to run tempo here. She's having a really good game tonight.
Especially after passing that first ball too, to then wind up, get a nice approach going. It's not always easy to multitask passing while also having to load up on offense too. Mosier in the middle. Brie Kelly, when she is rolling, she is a force.
I mean, who's stopping that? The power that Brie Kelly brings. That connection has to be so spot on between Mosier and her middle. It looks pretty good so far. After a shaky start with the connections.
Yeah.
Martin was stunned back there.
Played a year with Brie Kelly as well at Florida, did Kennedy Martin, so very familiar with what Kelly can do. Outside the block for Penn State and out of reach for Pitt. Tied back up at 5.
Martin's 3rd kill from the back row. This is something that Penn State loves to run whenever she's back there. And you can check out these angles here with how many blockers. They're getting 3 in on it, and she's still able to go around it. There are not a lot of players that are able to go around a triple block.
Curious to dive into that, why she and players like Olivia Babcock have the magic around a triple block. Nice serve there for Penn State. Babcock keeps it alive. Lyon to the middle. Mendelson is stuck. It's Mosier and Jones responsible.
Really good identification from Brooke Mosier, the setter, who's playing in right front to help on the gap set. So it's a little bit closer to her zone, but a lot of times you'll see blockers get a little bit jumpy on it. She was very disciplined.
Mosier, one of the best servers, back to the line for Pitt. talked about Olivia Babcock's 55-mile-per-hour serve. We'll be curious what Mosier clocks in at, too. Martin again gets one on the line and outside the block. So let's dive into that, Emily. Why is she so effective at picking apart the block ahead of her?
A lot of it is because Kennedy Martin has such a high reach. She's 6'6", and she can sky up there. So even when she has a big block in front of her, she has good enough vision and the height to get around it.
Yeah, that 6'6" is a luxury, isn't it? Nice pass from Dukes. To the middle, Ryla Jones.
Mosier's connecting incredibly well with the middles. The first set, it was very shaky. Since then, she's done a really nice job getting this ball in a perfect window for her middles to not only take a swing on, but absolutely unload on.
Jones and Kelly combining for 11 kills so far, to your point. Pizzell back to work at the service line for Pitt. Aggie Mendelson, you talked about the impact she makes when she hits the match, and there she goes again.
It's a really good connection as well between Mendelson and her setter. She's always up and available, ready for these. That all starts with a really good pass. Grimes getting line right on the money.
Balduno catches Mauritz. Olivia Babcock is denied at the hands of Emmy Selman.
Selman getting involved in all areas of the game. We've seen her great passing, awesome offense, and now defensively, she has been a force up there, her second block of the night.
3:33-2, definitely an uptick in her performance. Second and third sets. Overpass is crushed. Mendelson is called in the net. And trying to convince the referees that it was a ball in the net, but not convincing. Well, Katie, yeah, she's
coming down off this swing. She clearly grabbed the net on the way down.
Ooh, yeah.
Just got a little too excited about that one.
Well, she didn't carry the acting over to Katie, which was a sign that maybe she was guilty. Kennedy Martin, by the way, with her 59th straight match with 10+ kills when playing 3+ sets.
Just insane the numbers that she's able to
put
up. I mean,
even when you know it's going to her every time.
Yeah, I mean, last season she leads the nation in points per set. She's just an absolute force.
Original decision. Penn State will lose the challenge.
Here we'll get another look at it again.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything there.
Yeah, based on this, it actually looks like it goes just clear over Mosier's head on that, kind of sneaks by.
Nice serve for Pitt. Out of system for Penn State. Selman, high hands. Mosier to the middle. Lyon, back to the middle. Dug out by Mauritz. Babcock with a wild swing, goes wide. Can't figure out how she hit that shot. 1-point lead back to Penn State.
Penn State now putting up a triple block against Olivia Babcock in the front court. They're having their right front blocker move all the way in to try to defend Babcock.
Mosier kicks it back to Babcock. Had a big scene, didn't use it. Penn State reverses the flow. It's Martin. Chaos ensuing for Pitt. Mauritz throws in a tip. Penn State was ready to defend it that time. She has had some crafty shots, has Dagmar Mauritz.
I like the way that Olivia Babcock has stepped in and taken control on these second contacts. Dan Fisher often talks about how he wants all of his players to be the best setters in the country, not just the ones that are typically taking that second contact.
Well, and then the dust settles around her. Like, the chaos has calmed. She is the standing, solid presence for Pitt. The question next year becomes for Pitt, how do you replace an arm like Babcock? Wow, look at that serve. Have to run that one back. That's an ace for Jillian Grimes, and I correct myself, she's a junior, so 2 years from now. Thank you.
Just good movement on this serve, going from right back all the way back to right back. It's really difficult as a right back passer to get your body around this when it's coming from kind of a weird angle.
Crazy to think Olivia Babcock still has 1 more year left of eligibility with the level that she performs at.
Crazy she won National Player of the Year as a sophomore.
Yeah. Another one for Pitt.
Olivia Babcock went on a 6-0 run during the second set. This is where Penn State can't allow her to go on more of a run because they're still in this set, but if they let it slip away too fast, this match is going to be over fast.
I mean, think about it. For Penn State, every 3 rotations, they're fighting off heavy serves like this one. With Mosier across the way, it's a lot to handle, but Pitt gives one back. Hit a miss from Babcock.
Pitt has the potential to be one of the strongest serving teams in the nation because of the arms that they bring on back there.
From Martin. Ooh, overpass, not taken advantage of for Penn State. Oh, Pitt, how did they get away with that one? Sending over an overpass.
That was all Olivia Babcock, just eating that ball up. Her defense has improved so much in the past season. It's really difficult to get your body around it in time, but the way that Babcock defends is unique because, as you can see, she doesn't have a full platform formed. She's just using her arms and her hands to get that ball up. It's something you see in the men's game a lot, which is something that I know that she's taken from watching a lot of and playing in professional volleyball games.
Certainly a player that has goals to play at the highest levels beyond professionally. Selman goes into the block right away. Penn State goes back to Selman. Nice dig again from Babcock right on cue. Tight to the net, and a flying Feldudo saves the point. Pitt works the middle. Kelly throws it in the net. Penn State still alive in set 3.
I mean, the defensive intensity has picked up on both sides. Here's another one from Olivia Babcock. Look at this one-hander out to her right side. Gotta have those independent arms working so you can keep the ball up. Then a scrappy play on Penn State's side as well that they're able to transition that. That is perfect defense, though. You don't have to have your platform formed. Just get an arm on it.
Such a great point by you, Emily. 7 digs for Olivia Babcock, leading the team right now, including the libero, Emily Dukes, and only playing half the time in the back row. Very impressive night once again for Olivia Babcock.
And a lot of Babcock's dig numbers continue to skyrocket because other teams know that if they give her that first ball, she's less likely to get set in that situation. And anytime you can limit her ability to go off offensively, you got to try.
Yeah, that's a great point. And Penn State pointed that out ahead of the match, too, to try and make her work for it at least. She's going to get the ball a lot. Make her earn it. Another dig for Babcock. And loads up in transition anyways. Lyon to the pin. Ewing off the block and down. Alexis Ewing, the freshman, gets the job done.
Really smart shot from Ewing, seeing the right back defender on the other side. A bit too far back. That opens up a lot just right behind the block.
So Alexis Ewing in for Caroline Juravicius on the pin. Nice pass from Mauritz. Babcock from the back row is dug out, and it is out. Always with a smile on her face, too, Olivia Babcock. Such a great team player, such a great athlete.
And you can tell throughout matches, she just gets better and better, which is scary if you're facing her. You can check out this angle. So she's hitting a D ball. So that means that she's hitting an attack out of the back row from the right side. She just unloads on it.
And again, like drinking out of a fire hose, it's Mauritz back to serve with another heavy arm at the service line. Lyon almost wins the joust, is denied. But I want to ask you something, Emily. When you first saw Olivia Babcock live in person, what was your initial thought?
I couldn't believe how explosive she was. And we get to see it for potentially 10 more points, maybe more. Penn State.
Over in State College, Pennsylvania. A rivalry match between Pitt and Penn State. Slanting in favor of Pitt at the moment. Penn State giving it their all here in set 3. And a look at rivalry week here for the Big Ten Network. Emily Eamon.
Yeah, Nebraska getting a big win over Creighton in 5 last night. The Blue Jays pushed Nebraska right to the brink. But man, they do look like the #1 team in the country. They look pretty dang good.
You would know. You were there. Our little jet setter on the road. Big scramble here for Penn State. What a get. Mosier to the pin. Babcock is dug. And Penn State keeps it alive and keeps it in.
defense in the backcourt doesn't score you points, but man, it creates opportunities for things like this to happen. Jillian Grimes, the libero for Penn State, with a beautiful up just to keep it alive, and Mendelson doing whatever she can. Ewing counted as a kill.
It was a bit of a shake. Who cares? Ooh, gotta follow that up though with a serve that's in. Pizzell will check back in for the Panthers.
The one area of Penn State's game that's definitely taken a dip since set one has been their service pressure. They came out guns blazing during set one, and they were able to get Pitt out of system. But now Pitt has just sided out really quickly. They're nearly 70% side out.
Yeah, that's really good.
For context, your goal is about 55%.
Ewing swings fearlessly. That ball lands. Dan Fisher is not pleased on his side.
Yeah, inopportune time for a miscommunication for Pitt. You always want your setter to take this second ball. If there's any hesitation, always default to whoever's supposed to be taking that second play, which would be Brooke Mosier in this situation.
That has to be every coach's pet peeve when a ball drops like that in the middle with four bodies looking at the other, determining who to take it. Chance to tie it here for Penn State. Set number 3. Babcock goes big with the heavy thumb up attack, giving Mosier some feedback on that set.
All of a sudden, Penn State on a little bit of a run, tying it up here in the third. It's exactly what they needed. Good service pressure, force Pitt into chaotic situations.
Aldudo looking to continue that service pressure. Penn State in a must-win situation. Trickle off the tape. Count it for Penn State. 1-point lead. Back to their side.
Really good serve back there. Ava Faldudo putting this right near the top of the tape, so if it clips it, it'll just dribble over on the other side, and that's so difficult to get in this rotation where no player is in left front.
Love the ace cards in the crowd from the wrecking crew. Faldudo goes to Mauritz. Oh, what a crafty play call there from Brooke Mosier. Ryla Jones once again.
Penn State's had absolutely no answer for the middle attack in the last 2 sets because of how fast it's run. There's no blocker that's going to be able to get up in time, and what made this deceptive, Jones looked like she was hitting in front and then switched to behind right at the last second.
Well, and think about their options too, Emily. You've got Babcock on the right, and then you have Mauritz on the left. It's a tough blocking position for Penn State to be in. Who do you commit to? Where do you go? And even more kudos to Brooke Mosier running the middles, knowing that. Got weapons across the board. Pitt back on top by 1. Mallory Myers, a sophomore defensive specialist, serving. Mendelson through the middle, and Penn State hanging right in there.
Penn State needs to continue to keep the pressure on Pitt. If they get a good first touch, they need to make sure they're doing things like that, getting the middles involved, trying to get those one-on-one situations.
Maggie Mendelson adds her 4th kill of the night. Will be participating in women's basketball this year, as Katie Schumacher-Cauley can relate to.
For both sides right now, Kennedy Martin up front for Penn State, as well as Olivia Babcock for Pitt.
So the stars of the sports colliding in the front row. Keep an eye on this one. Mosier goes middle, dug out by Faldudo. Martin goes for hands, instead throws it away.
A bit of an awkward play for Kennedy Martin to try to make. She scores using her power. That set has to be in a position to allow her to use that power.
And this is troublesome for Penn State. Look who's back to serve. It's Olivia Babcock. Are we going to go 4 passers again for the Nittany Lions? They'll opt for 3.5. Ooh, didn't even move the platform, and that's still an overpass. Mauritz tries to pay it off. Penn State rises to the occasion instead.
That's a huge side out for the Nittany Lions, because not only do they get the point here, but they get Olivia Babcock off of the service line. Beautiful stuff block from Kennedy Martin to put it away.
6'6" in your face against a player who has been lights out all night. That's her first error of the night, Emily. First error for Mauritz.
That'll bring Addie Lyon up front for Penn State, so it's a shorter blocker on the right side. That means that Pitt is going to really exploit that and go to Blair Bayless, who's on the left side for Pitt.
Keep an eye on that matchup as Dagmar Mauritz goes back to serve for Pitt.
And no setter on the floor for Pitt right now as Abby Emsch comes in to provide a bigger block on the right side. Kennedy Martin ripping it from the backcourt, her 5th kill on a back row attack, doing a really nice job, even with a big block in front of her, spreading things around. And hitting all angles.
Monstrous attack from Kennedy Martin. Electrifying speed with that shoulder, start to finish from the approach. Auritz is jammed. Bayless looking to swing out of trouble. To the pin, Ewing with a high attack point, gets the job done. 1-point lead to Penn State in the red zone. Look at that reaction from Alexis Ewing, the freshman attacker on the outside, as we send you to a quick commercial break. Don't you dare going away. Penn State 4 points away from taking set number 3. Selman with the serve. Mauritz was the target. Back row to Babcock, who gets the job done from the back row.
Late in sets, stars come alive.
Yes, they do.
That's number 5 in gold, Olivia Babcock, and watch for a lot of sets to go the way of Kennedy Martin as well. 18 in white for Penn State, who's in the middle back position right now.
It's a great point by you, Emily. And this Pitt team is loaded with star power. Big serve from Bree Kelly. Ewing tees off. What a hit.
Freshman coming up big in a massive moment. Alexis Ewing unloading on this ball. This is exactly what you need in this kind of play. Tips aren't going to win you this set.
That's the 5th kill for Ewing. Hitting 571 too.
Addie Lyon back in for Penn State, so a shorter blocker on the right side.
Definitely keep an eye on that. Pitt to the pin, to that shorter blocker, as you mentioned. Penn State, oh boy. Mendelssohn runs a slide off of a bump set. That's unique. We're still going. Not anymore. Ryla Jones gets the last slap.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that Mendelssohn's still continuing to run her route there. But what that does is it forces Pitt into an easier situation with an off speed, and they're easily able to transition it. And now Pitt has Olivia back.
Top serve. Oh my. What a get from Grimes. Mosier digs it out. Scramble for Pitt. Olivia Babcock there to save the day. We're still going. Duke sends it over. Penn State. Kennedy Martin out of the back row. Gets the kill. Penn State up 23-22.
Amazing up in the backcourt. The libero for Penn State, Jillian Grimes, does such a great job wrapping her platform around this ball.
That was a wicked pass. Yeah. To your point, Emily, that deserves a ton of credit with the velocity of that serve. I mean, it looked like she was digging that ball. That was from the service line, and how quick that ball crosses the net.
Watching that.
After dropping their first 2 matches of the season, which you could attest to, you were there, I believe you're part of that, riding a 7-match win streak, Emily, only dropping 1 set last week. They took out 3rd-ranked Kentucky at the time in the ACC-SEC Showcase on Wednesday in Fort Worth. Amongst those 7 straight wins, we'll see if Penn State could put that streak in jeopardy here. Addie Lyon back to serve and back in the back row. Dukes was the target. It's an ace for Addie Lyon.
Can't put on better service pressure than that in this kind of moment. Gutsy serve from Addie Lyon, going after the libero, but hits it perfectly to bring up set point.
Just brings her outside the body alignment. What a serve. Set point, number 1 for Penn State. A big serve from Lyon. Olivia Babcock standing tall. It's up and it's down. Babcock apologizing to her team, saying sorry about that. A little too close for comforts, and Pitt with a chance to tie it. What is she apologizing for?
I don't know. Both sides, though, have really great front rows. Pitt has Olivia Babcock up there. Kennedy Martin is up front for Penn State. So the heavy hitters are in the front.
24-23-4. Marina Pizzell back to serve for Pitt. She goes to Selman and gets an errant pass. Kennedy Martin closes it out in set number 3, forces us to a set 4 situation. What'd you see?
Pressure is going to be massive for Penn State, continuing to put pressure on Pitt. And for Pitt, I think they got to keep their middles involved because that's really opened things up for the Pins.
I think you're right. Pizzell back to work first at the service line. Penn State with a little confidence now. Kennedy Martin loads up against a triple block, and she does not care what's ahead of her.
3 blockers up. Think about 6 blockers up. I don't even think it matters because Kennedy Martin's able to get around anything.
And the size of that block, Emily, you've got Ryla Jones, you've got Olivia Babcock, and Mauritz too. All 3 of those players touching well above 10 foot. Pizzell gets picked on this time from Penn State. Tight to the net. Penn State denies Pitt.
Kennedy Martin's block stifling up front. If these sets are too tight, she's able to eat it up.
Big serve from Addie Lyon gets Pitt out of system. Jillian Grimes. Becky Mendelson. What a set from Addie Lyon, too, from the 10-foot line, pushing that into her middle.
Beautiful set from Lyon. It's difficult to make these sets because when you're off the net, that margin for error is a lot smaller, but she's still able to wrap her shoulders around and get it in a good pocket.
Love when the centers can fly the way that they do. Lyon again going to that cross-court corner. Mauritz hits big into the block. Opens up the scoring for Pitt.
Mauritz has been really impressive so far today, hitting nearly 400, leading Pitt in kills. Normally it's kind of the Olivia Babcock show, but Mauritz has done a phenomenal job tonight.
She's kind of a quiet, measured competitor. Mendelson throws one into the block on the side of Pitt. Mauritz throws in a roll shot. Lyon out to the pin. Ooh, Martin throws one into the net. You will take it. Emily, you're no stranger to reverse sweeps, and Pitt is not as well. They got reverse swept earlier this season by Florida, have not lost since. What's it take to get that reverse sweep if Penn State can get there?
It is so difficult when you're down 0-2 in a match to even push that 5th set, let alone win it. It takes a ton of grit, but also just conditioning. Like, you have to have the stamina to be able to match that long.
Smart play off the block from Olivia Babcock once again, but yes, to your point, we're in mid-September, and it feels like we've already played through a full NCAA tournament with the preseason schedule these teams have locked in. Pitt with the start of the year against top-ranked Nebraska. That was on Fox, lost that one. Another big block for Pitt, but since then, they found their identity. They've been running away with all matches.
4-0 scoring run for Pitt right now. Got Mallory Meyer on the back line doing a really nice job putting in tough serves.
Katie Schumacher-Hawley wondering how to slow this train down, and that's not going to help. Grimes will track it down. What a play. We're still going. One-on-one. Ooh, Lyon just a half second on her heels. I did talk to Addie Lyon about playing defense against Olivia Babcock. She said, well, I do have Kennedy Martin to train against in practice, so that's pretty good reps, but was not sure about the challenge.
That's the thing about both of these teams is you have stars on the right side as Pitt sends that one into the net, but they're getting practice against a really good opposite every single day in the training gym. So yeah, they're not necessarily the same kind of player, but they're still going up against a really good right side attack every day.
The Feldudo looking to tie it here for Penn State. Goes cross-court seam on Mauritz, earns the overpass, and you love when the middles can pay it off for you, don't you?
Ava Feldudo has done such a good job tonight, serving really, really tough. This has been a staple for Penn State, really, over the past 2 seasons when she's been able to come in. She hits really good serves.
Another nice serve cross-court. Babcock goes flying into the mix as Feldudo goes flying into the stands trying to dig it out.
And Pitt definitely making it a point to go to Babcock more during this set, sending a lot of balls over to the right side. Now that she's in the backcourt, look for Brooke Mosier to keep her involved back there as well.
Oh my, another launch, and somehow dug out by Grimes, and Bri Kelly is what Katie Schumacher-Cauley is saying over the net that disrupted the set, but I think that pass was just a little bit too tight. Here's
yeah, that ball definitely in the plane of the net, and if that's the case, then you've got the green light to go up and be as aggressive as you want on the other side.
Another one from Babcock. Martin goes heavy on the outside edge of the block. Pizzell sends in a free ball. Faldudo to Lyon, to Selman, to Kill. Back within one for the Nittany Lions.
Big defense happening on both sides. Emmy Selman has done a good job in these transition opportunities, making sure that she's getting all the way back. Impressive up again from Babcock back there. Really good footwork, though, from Selman to have enough momentum into that.
You see the damage of a free ball, and again, you said it, Emily, serving the key. Penn State ties us at 7.
Penn State did a really nice job of serving during set 1 and forcing Pitt out of system. They have to continue to do that. They've done a really good job here in the 4th.
Blair Bayless checks back into the lineup and serve-receive. In for Pizzell. We'll see if Grimes picks up on her as a target. She will. What a handle from Bayless. That one is deep as Kelly looks for the touch. Dan Fisher can't believe there wasn't one. And by the way, Jillian Grimes with her 4th straight match with an ace. Another look at it, Emily. I don't see a touch there either, I don't think.
Didn't look like a touch. Looked like it went straight over from that angle.
Yes.
Pitt is challenging that the ball landed in.
I don't think that is going to go in Dan Fisher's favor. But we will take a closer look at it as soon as we have the correct view. But how about this fight for Penn State? There's another look, Emily. I think that's going to stand as out.
I would agree, based on that freeze frame.
How about this pushback from Penn State?
You're seeing a lot of fire in Penn State, which is exactly what Katie Schumacher-Cauley wants to see in her team. How do you respond after getting punched? What Penn State's doing well is great service pressure.
After the review, the original decision is confirmed. Point for Penn State, and Pitt will lose a challenge.
Yeah, you're right, Emily. That service pressure creates chaos. And you track back to sending a free ball over the other way, the damage that can cause when your setter is in a position where she can set 4 options, 3 in the front, 1 in the back. Grimes back to work at the service line. And another cross-court beauty from Grimes. Babcock throws an off-speed. That was measured. Penn State weathers out of it. Pitt looks to be disorganized. Ooh, man, a heads-up play once again from Brooke Mosher off of a block from Penn State. Just
gotta keep your
chips
head
it back over.
Yeah, head on a swivel up front. Mosher does a really nice job just literally watching the ball, which sounds so simple, but sometimes that's all it takes to make plays like that.
You're absolutely right. And we wonder if there's any mental residue from being reverse swept earlier in the season, or is that just checked in the history books and moved on? You wonder. We'll monitor the mental edge there. Kennedy Martin loading back up on the pin. Oh, a big block, Penn State. Will set Martin, who goes through Bri Kelly. Mosher with an unbelievable set. I love it.
Awesome ball from Brooke Mosher. She's moving forward, and then she sets against the flow. So the blockers follow her to the left side. She gets her feet there, flings it back where the blockers aren't there in time.
Is it the arm swing? Is it her physicality? Olivia Babcock really just doing it all, loading up. But yes, a great set from Brooke Mosher, just deceptive as can be. Another tight pass, which is troublesome for a short setter. Annie Selman goes into the block. Great coverage by Addie Lyon. Kennedy Martin, oh my, had to track that ball over her left shoulder, over her head, and still found it.
That is such a difficult ball to hit because as a right-handed right-side attacker, you have to watch this ball coming from the other side of the court, let it cross your body before you make a play on it, but she got her feet there, which was the most important thing.
Just a special talent is Kennedy Martin. That was her 15th kill, Emily, 1 ahead of Olivia Babcock. Kelly goes heavy through the seam. There was no middle block to be seen, and that's the risk with the switch block, right?
Especially, yeah, when you have a shorter blocker up there and you're tracking different hitters, doing different combinations of attacks. It becomes really difficult when, as a blocker on the other side, you're thinking about where the heck am I supposed to go and who am I watching?
Because Jordan Hupp was kicked out to the pin on that one, so leaving Bree Kelly in a one-on-one situation. Penn State goes to the back row. Kennedy Martin is dug out. Selman with a heads-up play, and that ball falls at the feet between two players. Another one that Dan Fisher must be frustrated with.
Yeah, really tough miscommunication on Pitt's side. Really good up in the backcourt. Mauritz doing everything she can, and then that's an easy play for someone to take a second contact.
Said service pressure. Penn State is bringing that, and then some scrappy points. They said they needed to win the scrappy points. They've gone a few here in set 4. Blair Bayless off of the block.
Blair Bayless is such a steady presence for Pitt. She does a good job defensively. She's also really good up front, just keeping the ball in play. Not necessarily a flashy player, but does a good job just taking big swings.
Now it's Brooke Mosier back to work. A cannon. Grimes gets a hold of it, but we are scrambled here on Penn State's side. Pitt with a dig from Dukes. Babcock throws in another one, exploits the block of Jordan Hupp.
A bit of a chaotic situation on Penn State's side, trying to find a way out of it. A little bit off-balance swing from Kennedy Martin leads to an easy opportunity for the Panthers.
Can't give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Brooke Mosier. Another dangerous serve for Pitt. There it is. Out of system and free ball situation for Pitt, and it's a scramble. Oof, that one hurts. Blair Bayless bails out Pitt once again.
I like that Olivia Babcock took this first contact, but watch the libero here, because she wants to run all the way from the left side of the court to take it. That's what you want in your liberos. You want to see them controlling that backcourt.
My job is to pass, get out of the way, get out to hit.
Go ahead, girl.
You can understand the intent there from Emery Dukes. The great liberos. Been around the game a long time. Little run here for Mosier. Penn State has to stop it, but they will not. What a serve from Mosier. Hits the seam with ease.
You never get comfortable when you're passing against Pitt because they have so many tough servers with a lot of different kinds of serves. Brooke Mosier has that hard topspin. Babcock also has a hard topspin. But then you have a lot of difficult float servers in there where you can never really get in a rhythm.
That's a great point. We feel for the littles in our volleyball backgrounds. Juice gets the job done from the backcourt. Ewing goes off a physical block. Dukes tracks it down. Free ball for Penn State. Lyon to the pin. Ewing goes off the block, it's out, gets another kill. Dan Fisher questioning. Little banter between Babcock and Fisher, and she's telling him not, or yes, to challenge it, yes. Ooh, yeah, that's in.
Straight on the line.
Back in State College on your left and over on your right. It's an in-state rivalry battle between Wisconsin and Marquette. Right now in a first set. You can catch all the action over on the Fox Sports app. How about this Wisconsin team up 6-3, but what do you see when you look at the Badgers this year?
Oh, they look so good. When you have Mimi Collier on the outside, Grace Egan, too, has been heating up recently on the right side. They've got studs on the pins. Really fun match to watch, too.
We will be in Madison this weekend as well. But right now, we focus here in Pennsylvania. How about that one? A timely attack from Jordan Hupp on the slide.
Penn State needed that side out immediately. They can't let Pitt have too much of a cushion here as we get to the end of this match, potentially if Pitt takes it.
Yeah, Pitt wins this one, we are done. Penn State wins this one, of course, we're going to a fifth. Nice serve for Penn State. Oh boy. Heavy arm from Babcock, to say the least. Selman, oh my, gets a break off the tape. Bayless rips it with a heavy approach.
Not pretty plays on either side, but sometimes that's what you have to do. Get out of chaotic points. Just calm the chaos down and do exactly what Bayless did, taking a big swing.
Was Lexi Jin a moment ago for Penn State. Nice serve from the backcourt. Izzy Maston serving for the team in gold. Amy Selman was the target. Ewing goes big. Maurits has cooled off a little bit here in set number 4.
And this is a rotation where they have Addie Lyon up front for Penn State. That's a ball that you'd love to see the outside rip down the line, trying to attack the shorter blocker.
Sure, Dan Fisher's thinking the same thing. Maurits, who's had such an excellent night. Only 3 errors for her, 12 kills still, hitting .321. Has cooled off a little bit, as I mentioned, though, in production. Ooh, tip. Lyon is on it. Grimes is on it, too. Martin speeds up her approach to catch up. Maurits tips it again. Lyon, oh no. Car crash. Prevention.
A miscommunication on Penn State's side at a really untimely moment. These are things, though, that kind of get fleshed out in the beginning of seasons when you have 2 players who have never played next to each other until this year.
And Lyon was there with ease. Ewing trying to help out. Selman picks up the pass. Ewing goes on the outside of the block, throws in a kill. The freshman heating up in State College.
Check out how high Ewing gets on this swing. I mean, she is skying up there to rip it down.
6 kills tonight, 2 away from her career high, which she set last match, which was 8. Oh man, an opportunity there for Mendelson, slips away. Penn State still alive. Nice touch on the block for Mendelson again. Mosier goes pin. Off the block, Lyon is on it. Second ball goes to Feldudo. Oh, stuff recovery from Dagmar Maurits.
Backcourt defense for Penn State working so hard to keep these balls alive. Jillian Grimes, beautiful diving save, but then it's the front court defense for Pitt that gets it done. Maurits, big stuff.
The best blocking teams in the country, with good reason, is Pitt. Nice ball from Peldudo. Mendelson wide open in the middle, catches the tape though. Babcock got to be ready for her. There she was again in the right back position. All radars have to be on Babcock all the time.
Anytime you play Babcock, you gotta know where she is. Front row, back row, right side, left side. All eyes have to be on number 5.
We're gonna take a quick timeout with line for Olivia Babcock, ripping heavy balls there as well. Maurits with the pass. Babcock goes wide.
When Penn State is gonna make a run, it's gotta start now. That's gotta come from some good service pressure, and Jillian Grimes is one of the best on Penn State's roster.
She is indeed. Lauren Carlini, for 4-time All-American, 2-time Big Ten Center of the Year, Olympic silver medalist. What else do you want? Wisconsin in action right now in a match against Marquette in state rivalries all over the place. Michelle McMahon, Emily Eamon on the call here with you from State College. Man, tough miss from Jillian Grimes.
In this situation, when you're down to the number 5 team in the country, coming out of a timeout, those are the plays that you really need to be able to build momentum on.
In the red zone now for Pitt, where you say they shine the most. Maurits back at the line. Feldudo nails the pass. Selman off the block. Oh, what a tip! A gutsy choice from Mosier. We haven't seen that all match.
Mosier's gone up and hit some overpasses, but that was her first big dump of the night. She's now 4 for 5. She's hitting 750 up front.
Goes to the corner. They knew the set was coming, they being Penn State. They just didn't know where, and that's what separates the veteran setters from the newbies. They know where the defense is not. Selman goes heavy into the block. Pitt needs 3 to take the match, though tested in set number 3.
Pitt's block has really come alive throughout this match. That's their 4th during just this set and 13th overall tonight.
Selman again off the block. Babcock gets another dig. Bayless works the seam, and Feldudo was on it. Big rip from Selman. Oh my! Don't hurt yourself, Olivia. My goodness, throwing herself into the stands.
Not worth it.
Jeez, great effort. Love the smile, though. I mean, she is always smiling and lighthearted. And just having covered Pitt earlier this year from the sideline perspective, getting to interact with the bench during timeouts, even when things were not always going their way early in sets earlier in the season, she was the shining force of positivity.
There's so much confidence in herself and her teammates as well.
Marie Kelly throws it down on Penn State. Pitt 2 points away from taking this one.
Pitt looking really confident right now. Brooke Mosier is setting a beautiful game. She's getting everybody involved. The kill numbers across the board look great. Of course, you have Olivia Babcock, who's leading the team right now, but she is making sure to get everyone involved, especially her middles.
Penn State looking to avoid a match point here. It's a nice float serve from Pitt. Selman goes into the block. That set a little too tight, and on cue, match point for Pitt. They've won 3 out of the last 4 meetings against Penn State, though Penn State still has a handle on the all-time series record, dating back to 1977. That ball is out. Grimes fighting till the end. Penn State grabs another point. Match point number 2 will continue for Pitt.
Penn State throwing in this double substitution. Trying to get a bigger block up front.
So how's Emmy Selman feeling right now at the service line, fighting against match point? Never a fun place to be. We'll see if she rises to the occasion. Oh my, that's a blast, and a punctuation point for Pitt, who closes out Penn State and makes it 3 in a row over their